The Gina and Matty podcast.
Have you watched Wonka on Netflix, the prequel to Wonka, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
I haven't. It's been on in the house.
Yes.
The kids have had it on and they've watched it a few times. So I've seen bits and pieces, but no, I like the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
And then the remake with Johnny Depp as well when he did Willy Wonka.
I love it. I was watching it the other day and my 21-year-old son walks in and bags me for watching Wonka. He went, oh, what's this? And I went, I'm actually really enjoying it. So I did.
I reckon if he sat down and watched it, he'd probably love it.
Yeah, it's really good. So Timothée Chalamet is the star in it. Is that how you say his name?
Just Timothy, yeah.
Timothy.
Yeah.
It's got a over the top. Anna.
I think it's Timothée Chalamet.
Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
Well, he crashed his own lookalike contest after police shut down a crowded event. So apparently a guy from a YouTube personality put on this lighthearted joke of a personality, of a lookalike contest. You should see how many people, because if you've seen it, he's got like bushy, dark hair and some of them came dressed as Wonka from the Wonka series on Netflix, the Wonka movie on Netflix. It was amazing. Now look at these photos of how much these guys look like him.
Funny. It's just that sort of long, curly, ratty style of hair and face.
Yeah, and that
with
young...
a bit of bum fluffer for a moustache.
Yeah, and look at the one. This was my winner down the bottom. I had to draw it.
You drew a dog.
Yeah, there was a dog with a wig on. Did you see that one? I was watching the video and there was a dog also with the wig on. But it's amazing how much they look like him. So he crashed it. He heard about it, so he showed up. A lot of them got their photo taken with him. The winner only got $50.
Did he win? Did Timothée Chalamet win his own lookalike competition?
Can you imagine going to a karaoke? Like if I went to a karaoke and I did one of my songs and I didn't win?
But isn't it the famous story about, isn't it Charlie Chaplin entered into a Charlie Chaplin lookalike competition and came third?
Really?
Is it? I don't know. I might be riffing, but I'm pretty sure that's the story.
I know Rupert Grint, who plays Ron Weasley from Harry Potter, entered a Ron Weasley lookalike competition. No, well, just who would look like Ron Weasley from the book, and he won before he was cast in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, that is cool.
That is amazing. Well, I thought that was pretty cool, this guy. And it turned into a much bigger event. It got shut down by the police. They had to move it somewhere else. It became bigger than Ben-Hur. Moving on, Adele and Celine Dion. Oh, my goodness.
Are they doing a song together? What's going on?
Well, during a concert at the Coliseum in Las Vegas, Adele shared an emotional moment with Celine Dion, who was in the audience. So she was performing Easy on Me, and Adele spotted Celine, rushed over and gave her a big hug, and they both cried because where she was playing was where Celine played all of her shows
so
for
this is
all
Adele's
those years.
right. This is Adele's residency.
Yes.
And then Celine used to have her residency there. I remember hearing an interview with Adele way back in the day saying that Celine's her queen. Like her favourite. Yeah.
Well, Celine, obviously, she's one of the greatest singers of our lifetime, and I think Adele is too, so she's obviously very influenced by her. But I love that. Imagine being in the audience and Celine Dion's there, and you see them having a hug.
Or just being Adele and going, the person that I looked up to and idolised as a kid is sitting watching me perform. Like this,
Would it make her nervous, I wonder? Would she have gone, oh, my God, the greatest voice of my life is listening to me sing. I better get this right. Oh.
Who would that be for you? Would that be Dolly? If you were doing a gig and you were walking through and everyone's singing, you just, all of a sudden, you're like, holy, it's...
Yeah.
Insert name.
Imagine if it was Dolly Parton. No, that would freak me.
She would be your Celine?
I do love her, but I wasn't vocally influenced by her probably, just more lyrically and all that kind of stuff. Who would it be? Be someone who you probably, like Trisha Yearwood, someone who you don't know, maybe. Or do you know Trisha Yearwood?
How will I live without you?
Good job.
Just want to know.
Well, she's married to Garth Brooks, who there's a little bit of controversy going on at the moment with Garth Brooks, but they used to be known as Nashville's most beautiful, wholesome couple. But yeah, I think it would be her. If I saw her in the audience, I would not even be able to breathe. But I think Adele survived, kept singing while Celine Dion sat on and watched her.
Well, that is Star Watch for Tuesday the 29th of October. And it gives us a chance to go into the break with a little bit of this. Come on, Casey, sing it.
Gina and Matty.
A little bit of a proud dad moment in the house yesterday. My youngest, Stevie, who is 5, regular listeners to the show would know that she's the one that went to school orientation, where she's going to kindy next year, told the principal to slay queen, and is fond of a laugh. She's a lot. She's a force of nature.
Where does she get that from? I don't
have
know.
Absolutely no idea.
She also looks exactly like you.
The poor kid. Poor kid. She's my baby. She's my baby. And she is intrigued by making people laugh. She loves the idea of being center of attention and making people laugh. And she's really interested in, she just loves making up jokes. All right. And, you know, they're not great.
It's a good start, though. She's 5.
She's not getting a Netflix series anytime soon, like, you know, a 3 stand-up special. And we've been going through, and I've been doing the, what do you call a man who has a shovel on his head? That kind of gear.
Yeah,
Doug.
Yeah.
You know, what do you call a man who doesn't have a shovel on his head? Douglas. You know, what do you call a man who has a seagull on his head? Cliff. What do you call a man with no arms and no legs in the water? Bob. What do you call with no man stuck to the wall? Art, right? We've been doing a bit of that gear, and I've been explaining to. So she is actually trying to write her own gear. She's trying to come up with her own jokes, and not so much write, but just like make them up on the spot. And so she's taken some of that, and I'm like, okay, I've been explaining the idea of a setup. You know, what the setup is, what the punchline is.
Yeah.
There's a rule of 3, which is in comedy. You use one thing that might be funny. You come with another thing in that same area that could be a bit funnier. And then, boom, the third thing, that's the punchline. So doing a bit of explaining that. And so I was like, can you come up with a joke about, you know, what do you call a man? Right, one of those styles of jokes. And she's walking around the house and she's looking around. She looks into the toilet and then she comes back. She's like, okay, Dada, what do you call a man who poops in a puddle? And I was like, I don't know. What do you call a man who poops? Plop. And I'm like, okay, I said you're working in the right area.
Yeah.
Like you are working in the right area. That's not quite
Nearly.
You're nearly there.
Yeah.
You're nearly there. So try again. I explained the setup, the punchline, how it works. It's got to work on the level that it makes sense in the setup, but also makes sense as the punchline. So so she's walking around the kitchen and she's looking in the cupboard, and then she comes back and she's like, what do you call a man with a Pringle? She loves Pringles. What do you call a man with a Pringle on his head? And I was like, okay, this will be good. What is this going to be? She's like, I don't know, Steve. What do you call a man with a Pringle on his head? And she goes, Chip. Oh my God!
Pretty good!
She got it! You just wrote a joke!
Yes!
I was like, oh my God, forget it. I'm going to be out of the gig. Stevie's going to be doing this show in no time.
Gina and Matty.
But I thought I'd kick off a new segment today, G, called Tales from the ER.
Oh.
We have a lot of nurses and doctors that we speak to that listen to our show, usually very early on the way home from doing night shift or on the way in.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, I might share this one that came across
This is the ER music.
my desk. This is the ER thing.
I love it.
Yeah. Where's George Clooney when you need him? Probably at Lake Como, just kicking back in his...
Drinking his gin, making his coffee.
Oh, God, just going from the gin to the Nespresso back and forward while counting his money.
Yeah.
Okay. Tales from the ER. An 88, let's just remember that for a second, 88-year-old man caused a partial evacuation of a hospital in Toulon in France because of a shell stuck up his anus.
A shell?
Well, not one you'd find at the beach. It's an unusual story. Yes, it is. This weekend, an 88-year-old man presented himself to emergency room at Saint-Moustet Hospital in Toulon with a First World War shell stuck up his bum.
What? Why?
I suppose you get to 88. I haven't tried that yet. The octogenarian claimed to have found this shell, which is 18 centimetres long and 9 centimetres wide, at his brother's house, according to a police source.
What?
At first step, the hospital management organised a partial evacuation of the establishment to the main hall with the help of security and the fire department to manage this almost
In case it goes off.
unbelievable bomb threat. Okay, where's the bomb, guys? Where is it? All the fire is running. It's in him.
Oh my God.
The old guy in the corner? Yeah, where is it? Well, it's a long story. So then we had to treat our atypical patient who immediately ensured that the shell was demilitarised, explains one of the hospital staff members. Now, to be sure, the hospital called in the demining team, which quickly eliminated any risk of explosion. The shell being considered a collectible, no longer active. The surgery team then swung into action, performing a visceral operation to retrieve the object through his abdomen.
Winning that far.
Well, I guess it didn't have anything you could... Well, the shape of it almost needs to flare at the bottom so you could then get it back out again. But the shape of the shell would have just gone...
Like a really big enema.
Like it just ate itself. The
Maybe-
butt just went...
Maybe he sat on it accidentally.
Nothing goes in there by accident. All reports from the hospital is the patient is doing well and has come out in good health.
Oh.
Well, poor guy put the phrase fire in the hole to a whole new level.
Oh, my God.
The Gina and Matty Podcast.
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.